Nobody likes speeding tickets, but if you're a car enthusiast, you're going to get some sooner or later. And if you get enough of them, you're going to end up in a place that has a sign like this. I'm Csaba Csara, and neither I nor Car and Driver magazine encourage you to speed, but it's an occupational hazard for car enthusiasts, and in fact, just about everyone else is usually going a little bit over the speed limit one time or another. What I've got here is a number of tips that are going to help you stay out of ticket trouble. Follow those tips and you can go a little bit faster than the speed limit and you'll probably get away with it. If you're going to speed willfully, the first step is to know the speed limit. And you might think that's obvious, but the fact is speed limits vary all over the place. There's a road near my house in which the speed limit goes through 5 different stages in the course of about 3 miles. And you could start out driving at the speed limit at 50 miles an hour, and just in a couple of miles, you're going 25 over the speed limit when it's dropped to 25 miles per hour. So you really need to pay attention to that. Now we're getting on the freeway here, and the freeway presents a useful speeding opportunity because often you're going a fair distance, and actually going a little bit faster can cut your travel time. There's a few key ways that you can speed on the freeway and keep a low profile. One of them is to stay in the right lane. A lot of speeders think of the left lane as the fast lane, and so if they're going to go fast, that's where they're going to go. Well, what do you know? The cops know that too. So many people mindlessly drive in the left lane that the right lane is often more free of traffic than the left lane. You can actually go faster in the right lane without worrying about people. But the important part is police aren't programmed to look at fast drivers in the right lane. So if you stay in the right lane, you keep a much lower profile and you're much less likely to come to the attention of police, whether it's a radar cop or simply a policeman cruising down the highway. Now, if you do drive along in the right lane, you're probably going to have to work at it a little bit. You are going to have to change lanes a little bit more often when you encounter slow traffic. You want to do that smoothly. Police will notice you if you're jerking around and cutting people off. And by the way, that's also what annoys people. These days, everyone has a cell phone, and if you really cut someone off, or you're jerking around and people think you're driving dangerously or overly aggressively, they can call the cops on you, and that doesn't help your progress at all. One other benefit of driving in the right lane is that you're occasionally going to be passed by a faster car. Now, that car might be driving 10 or 15 over the speed limit, which is a speed you might like to be driving. Well, let that car pass you, and when he gets about 1/8 of a mile ahead, pick up your speed to match his speed. Ideally, if that car is staying in the left lane, he's going to let you drive at his elevated speed, only he's out in front, and if there's a radar trap or a policeman up there, he's going to be caught before you are. The ideal rabbit is traveling a speed you'd like to travel, is an easily identifiable car in a bright color, and the perfect one would be something like a red Corvette or a red Porsche 911 because they really stand out, they're cop magnets, and a car like that is sure to get caught before you are. The one key tool for avoiding speeding tickets is the radar detector. They've been around for over 40 years, and they come in all prices and shapes and sizes. I've tested a lot of them over the years, and I can tell you that if you're a serious speeder, you want to spend the money on an expensive one because they have better features and, more importantly, they can detect radar more effectively than a cheap detector does. For the last few years, I've been using a Passport 9500iX by Escort. Not only is it a very high-quality detector that does a great job of sniffing out all kinds of police radar regardless of what band they use, but it has some key features, like GPS built into it. So I can set it to show my true GPS speed, which is more accurate than my car speedometer. And so if I want to run 5 over the limit or 10 over the limit, it helps to know what the limit is and what my precise speed is. Also, because it has GPS in it and a mini computer with a database, it comes pre-programmed with radar traps around the country, red light cameras, and speed cameras. Furthermore, I can use the controls on this detector and add speed traps that I know of in my area, or I can tell it to ignore radar signals that I know are coming from burglar alarms or non-police radar. It's a very effective device in that regard. Now, it's not perfect, and no radar detector is. Some police are using instant-on radar, where the radar is not on all the time, and it doesn't come on until the policeman sees you, points the gun, and pulls the trigger. If you're alone on the road when that happens, the radar detector will go off, but it will probably be too late to save you. Similarly, if the police are using a laser gun to measure your speed, called LiDAR, and once the LiDAR beam sweeps across the radar detector, it's also swept across your car, and there's a good chance that the policeman already has your speed. One way to stay away from ticket trouble is to learn where the cops like to hang out. There's a website called www.speedtrap.org, and I've got it up on the screen right here, and it has a database of speed traps all across the country. For example, right here, we're in Washtenaw County, and it gives us 2 well-known speed traps in the area. It has this database for the entire country, and this is a good place to check out both for your own area and if you're driving someplace where you don't know the territory. But this website will only give you historical speed trap information. There's actually an app that'll give you the information in real time right when you need it. To get real-time speed trap information, there's an app called Escort Live. And this is on my Android phone, but you can also get it for an iPhone. And what this app does is it connects to 2 different things. It connects to the Escort radar detector, and it also connects to the internet via the cell phone network. And what we have right here is the map view. It shows where we are, and it shows where there was the last radar signal that it picked up, which happened to be right here. There's also a dashboard view, and basically this is giving you a bigger, broader view of what the display in the front of the detector does. Now, if in fact you get a radar signal, this will go on and give you a very detailed picture of what you've got. That was a Ka band signal. It gives you the exact frequency, gave you the full signal strength. So, number one, it gives you a more advanced and complete display of what the radar detector does. But the other thing that it does is if someone else picks up a radar trap on this unit, it will bring it up on the map view. And furthermore, if you see a radar signal, I can bring up a screen, and if I see a policeman or a speed trap or whatever, I can press the button there, the tile, and send it up through the cloud, and anyone else approaching the area, if they have Escort Live, will get that information and be warned in advance that there's a speed trap there. The system works super well, and it's perhaps the best way to beat instant-on and LiDAR speed traps. Now, just because